Welcome back to the channel, guys, and in today's video we are going to have a look at a team consisting of Zacian Hero. And Zacian was released in the middle of the season 8, and that's when I thought that it's going to change the meta probably, and we are going to see a lot more Zacian because one, it has a really great moveset, and being the fairy typing, it's really a good offensive Pokemon with decent amount of bulk as well. And with all the dragon types running around, it's certainly something. It's certainly a good Pokemon because it can handle those steel types with access to the close combat. So we are going to have a look at couple of sets which I played with this team. And before we start with the battles, if you're new to the channel and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you're already subscribed to the channel, a big thanks to all of you. And if you want to join the battle set Discord server, the link to that is in the description down below. So without further delays, let's start with the battles and see how the battle goes. So picking up a negative lead, and I save swap to Zacian, and the reason I'm save swapping to Zacian in this particular matchup is they would be having a counter to Giratina in the back, and most likely they are going to have a Dialga. So that's the reason I did not make a swap into that thing. And in comes this Lugia. So this there is still a chance because we are up 2 shields and we were able to farm a lot of energy of that Melmetal. So we will be either grabbing both the shields of this Lugia, or we are going to KO and win the switch. So going for this wild charge straight away, and this is where wild charge comes in handy when compared to the play rough, because wild charge takes equal amount of energy, less energy than play rough, and it can be handy something against the flying types like Lugia, Togekiss, and even Ho-Oh. So now we are able to flip the switch matchup, and as I said that there is a Dialga in the back. So this is my general observation from the Master League, that people running Melmetal in the lead tend to have a Dialga in the back because Dialga is a very strong answer to Giratina. And now that they went for Draco Meteor, I can simply farm them down. So this is my usual strategy up against Dialga, that I do not throw the first charge move. I wait for the opponent to throw and see what move they will throw, and then based on their move I decide on my gameplay, because regardless I have to invest a shield irrespective of the fact that the opponent throws an Iron Head or a Draco Meteor. But if the opponent throws a Draco Meteor, then definitely you can farm them down. So yeah, good games. Moving on to this matchup, we have a Yveltal matchup, and as you can see I tried to catch a move there, potentially a Focus Blast, but it's just a Dark Pulse, so we will be able to completely farm the down. And in comes this Excadrill, which is quite good. Unfortunately we are not able to get to this Draco, otherwise we would have either got the shield or taken out the Excadrill. So now I make a swap to now I come in with the Giratina, which is a very strong counter to their Excadrill in the back. So they are staying in this matchup surprisingly. Maybe they have a Melmetal in the back, and this can be like Melmetal will make good sense because they led Yveltal. And they are still up a shield, so I need to eat this drill run because I want to keep the shield for Zacian in the back. So going for this Ominous Wind now, because this Ominous Wind will put down this Excadrill very low, or even not knock them out. I think they will survive with 1 HP. So now in comes this Mewtwo, and I do need to take the first Side Strike, and this will do massive amount of damage, but now we will be able to get to 2 wild charges, and this again is a place where wild charge comes in handy in comparison to play rough, because we will be able to get to 2 wild charge in comparison to 1 play rough in this particular matchup. So going for this wild charge, this grabs the shield, and I immediately throw the next wild charge because Mewtwo is really very close to another charge move, and as you can see the wild charge does not knock them out, but they will need to throw, otherwise Snarl will do enough damage to knock their Mewtwo out. So we are able to farm down the Mewtwo, and Excadrill we are able to farm it down as well and survive with 1 HP. So that was a really close game, and GG's to my opponent, well played. Moving on to the next matchup, picking up a neutral lead in the form of this Mewtwo. I do need to watch out for a Focus Blast though, and yeah, let's see. This is not a Focus Blast. They did not charge. I didn't think maybe they did, maybe they did not. I was not really counting at the time of recording this video. But the opponent makes a really good catch onto their Dialga of this Iron Head. And since I have a good answer to that Mewtwo in the back, I stay in this matchup because later in the end game, the Giratina will do really good against their Mewtwo. So they invest a shield now, and I have chipped this Dialga that much that I can completely farm this down with my Zacian. So yeah, that's the gameplay. I might have to eat an Iron Head to the face, but let's see. But yeah, my game plan from the beginning was to completely farm down with Zacian, because Zacian with energy can be really dangerous. So we are able to farm down this Dialga, and we are almost at 100 energy. So let's see what the opponent decides to bring back. And they come in with their Zekrom. So it's a Mewtwo double dragon line, and this is one of the line that I used to run a lot. And this matchup is still not over because even though they are doing resisted damage, but we are like 4 times debuff now, and they come in with Mewtwo, and I make an immediate swap. And since I make a quick swap expecting this to be Side Strike, which it is, so Side Strike will not knock us out, and they need to throw their energy because otherwise Giratina will be able to farm them down. And at this point I'm okay at letting go of Giratina because Zacian can come in and completely farm them down. So yeah, they were very close to a Side Strike, but now I farm 1 extra energy just in case I do not get to close combat. So close combat is not able to knock them out, but we are able to get to another. I think they must have been at a crunch, either a crunch or a wild charge. They have to be. But Zacian pulling it off in the end game, and that is GG's. Moving on to the next one, picking up a neutral lead yet again, and I really cannot swap to Zacian because I really don't feel comfortable in that matchup, because you need to debuff yourself in order to rip off those 2 wild charges. And yeah, that matchup really becomes very iffy because charms will just add up to that Zacian's damage. So staying in this matchup, at least we will be able to grab both the shields or knock this Togekiss out, and they're most likely to have a Groudon or something strong against Melmetal in the back, maybe a Giratina or a Groudon. And if it's a Giratina in the back, it's not going to be good for me because I am not running player off onto the Zacian. It's both the moves are resisted. So now I go for this wild charge and completely expecting a Giratina in the back, and if there is a Giratina, it will depend on what Pokemon they have in the last. So it's a Kyogre, so the game is still not over yet. I still can win. I need to shield the Blizzard, and if I manage to do that, I surely will be not surely, but maybe able to pull off a win. So going for the Shadow Ball, there is no point in going for an Ominous Wind here. Or maybe could have gone for Ominous Wind because it was later I decided on that I would like to keep a shield, and I get a boost there as well, so that is the game over. So my gameplay or my strategy over there was that I wanted to see that I did not want to risk investing a shield and then later eating a Shadow Ball, or even worse, getting baited with a Surf and then taking a Blizzard to the face. So at that time I think that that was a safe play. And yeah, good games. Moving on to the next one, picking up Horrible Lead and the Horrible safe swap, especially because I don't have player off onto the Zacian. So this is not looking particularly good, and yeah, I think we will take a loss on this one because their Melmetal farmed a lot of energy as well. And in theory, I could have thrown the I could have thrown the close combat immediately when they threw the charge move. And at this point I think that I thought that it's better to keep Zacian alive for the end game, maybe like expecting a Dialga in the back. So let's see what my opponent decides to do. They definitely will come in with Melmetal. So Melmetal will come in, and yeah, in 2 shields this matchup, like Dialga is just a dead weight at this point of time, so I let go of this Pokemon, and I should be incoming with Giratina here. Yeah, coming in with Giratina, and they have a Snorlax in the back, so you could say I got really hard countered there. There is really no play left in the game. I think this is really over. So I'm just playing because maybe the opponent will not shield a close combat. Yeah, that's the only And they are able to land an earthquake as well. So yeah, this game is definitely over. So getting a hard countered there, I mean, you cannot do much against something you got hard countered. So yeah, there was no point in staying in that match. So yeah, good games. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Zacian matchup now. And I, for one, I should know this matchup, but I don't know the matchup from the Dialga's perspective, like in how many shielding scenarios Dialga can win. I just know that close combat from Zacian is not enough to KO Dialga, so you can safely. And same goes for Ironhead. I mean, on a not debuffed Ironhead, it does not KO. And I was trying to catch a close combat there, but instead took on a wild charge. So this put us very low, and in comes their Landorus. Yeah, it's going to be a rough battle here because I let go of my Zacian because everything would have been resisted. I mean, there was no play up against this Zacian. So yeah, it's going to be really bad to be honest, because they will throw their Stone Edge. I could have come in with Dialga at this stage, because Dialga would have been able to do some decent Dragon Breath damage, and they will need to debuff themselves in order to knock us out. But yeah, this is not looking good. This is not a good start to the set. So in comes their Dialga, and it's a shiny Dialga as well, which I don't really have. I did a lot of raids with it, and I hope that I got one, but yeah, it just did not happen. And we are able to throw this Ironhead, but this Ironhead will not be able to KO, so not expect they shield this charge move. And but Dialga chipped off enough health off of my Giratina. I think they can simply go for a couple of wild charges in order to knock us out. They are already at two close combats, so you could make an argument that I could have yeah, there was no win con there. Yeah. I think I really should not have swapped out of that Dialga matchup initially, but yeah, it is what it is, and good games. Moving on to the next one, picking up positively. Finally, I think this is my 7th game with this team, and this is probably the first time that I've won the lead. So in comes their own Dialga, and this is what I generally say in my Master League videos, right? That Dialga leads are generally weak to Dialga's opens. So I could have swapped into my Zacian at this point of time, but again, I'm not very confident on the Zacian versus Dialga matchup, because there are times that when I've lost that one, and I am not sure what I tried to did there. But catching an Ironhead, and maybe the reason that I did what I did was because Zacian is just a dead weight at this point of time. I mean, I might as well just let go of it. So I have a residual energy on my Dialga, which will come in handy going up against this this Giratina in the end game. And since they led Giratina, they might have a Melmetal in the back. Like I'm banking on the fact that they have a Melmetal in the back. So I come in with Dialga, and this is just an ominous win. They don't have enough for Shadow Ball, and Dialga barely survives this move. And if we get this, if we get a shield or whatever, yeah, we get a shield, so I make an immediate swap to my Giratina, and I would need to make sure that I do not end up catching. I shield the Shadow Ball, potential Shadow Ball, because they definitely charge up to 1, but it's just an ominous win. But we will be able to completely farm their Giratina down and have almost 2 Shadow Balls loaded. And in comes Conkeldurr, which is like the perfect Pokemon that I could see with this. I mean, even if they had something like a Melmetal in the back with almost 2 Shadow Balls ready, I think we would have won that match regardless. But anyway, 2 Shadow Balls will be able to knock them out. So yeah, good games. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Melmetal Lead. So again, a bad lead, and swapping into my Zacian. So let's see. They are staying in this matchup, which is good for me. And they decide to go for a Rock Slide, and I do not throw the close combat now, because close combat, or I throw eventually, but this close combat will not be enough to knock them out. So yeah, now I would have to shield this Rock Slide, because Rock Slide will be doing a lot of damage and might even bring Zacian in the farm down range for Melmetal. So this close combat will either be able to put this Melmetal very low or be able to knock them out. So at this stage I will go for shield advantage rather than the swap advantage, because even if they make a swap to their Dialga, I can simply make a swap to my Dialga, and in comes their Lugia. So I could have stayed in that matchup, but I definitely should have stayed in this matchup, because they are most likely to have a Dialga in the back, because they did not swap out of that matchup up against Zacian. So I'm pretty confident, and this game is looking very hard to pull off, because the Melmetal will be able to farm us down, and we are double debuffed, so this Iron Head is just going to tickle that Melmetal, and they will be able to farm us down instead. So we don't have enough farm on the energy perspective as well, and there is no point in staying in this matchup, but maybe they have a Conkeldurr in the back which might be able to save us. But Melmetal is healthy enough, and unlike previous match, I don't have enough farm on my Giratina, so I need to throw, because there is no point in another Rock Slide would have put us in red, and they BM us with Dialga in the back. They should have really swapped in immediately, because there was no point in staying in. So but it is what it is. Good games. Moving on to the next one, we are in a Ho-Oh lead. So I don't really like this lead in particular, because Iron Head is resisted, but the Dragon Breaths are chunking away. So you definitely would want to shield an Earthquake, because Earthquake will knock Dialga out at this range. So I'm trying to time my move as best as I can. So going for this Iron Head now. So Iron Head will grab the shield, which is good, but I would have to invest another shield, and I'm okay with investing one, because we will be able to completely farm down the Ho-Oh. So they swap into their own Dialga, and I go for a very risky bait, because if it doesn't land, if it grabs a shield, but if it had not grabbed a shield, it would have been really bad for us. So now they will throw this Iron Head, okay, but we will be able to knock them out with a close combat now, since we since we have chipped away a lot of health. So I left enough energy, because I do not want to get risk hit with another Iron Head, and they will need to throw an Incinerate, which allows us to get enough Snarl, and we are able to knock them out, and this is where Wild Charge comes in handy. So in comes their Giratina. The game is still not over yet, because Shadow Ball will not KO, and they are at 2 Shadow Claws away. So definitely they are going to go for a Shadow Ball, but I know that the Shadow Ball is not going to KO, and I need to get to the Shadow Ball. So we are able to get to this one, and after landing the Shadow Ball, I'm going to make an immediate swap to my Dialga just to farm them down with the Dragon Breaths. And this is a game wrap, and this is, I think, 9 battles, because one of the battle the opponent really lagged from the start, and I ended up farming them down, so there was no point in showing that battle. But as you can see, I was able to get 4-1 in one set and 3-2 in another. I mean, one was just a free win, but all in all, I think this is a very strong team, and if you happen to try this team later, do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace.